For December 23rd, 2016, we talk about the Title of the Year 2016 awards, Super Mario Run, and we ask you what games you would use to introduce novices to games. Welcome to Level 177. My name is Kole Ross.
My name is David Meisma.
I'm Jala Brenda, and also we have a Ghost Ben.
Yes, we do have a Ghost Ben who's going to be here in just a little bit. And you're listening to The Level. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ben will be here in just a bit. What's that, David?
I like to think that, like all ghosts, Ben is with us in spirit.
Jesus. Yeah, but we've got this is going to be not the last show of the year. We're going to do something small next week, but this is kind of the last main show. And gosh, I hope that you stick around and listen to the title of the year. We're going to talk about that in the brief. But that's pretty much everything that's going to be going on. Does anybody have any big holiday plans coming up?
Job applications.
Yeah, a long training run. That's about it. Although, about that, I do have a request from the listeners and co-hosts.
Yeah.
Everybody. Okay, so I'm running the Houston Marathon. That's going to be mid-January, specifically January 15th, and I thought about this idea. I would really like it if everybody who likes me would send me an audio clip of just something inspirational that you are saying to me, or just whatever you want to say to me. Hopefully nice things, because I plan to put them in a special playlist that's like running inspiration that I will put as my, in case of emergency, please listen to this. Like when I hit the wall and I'm dying during my marathon, I want all the listeners and my co-hosts and my friends and my everybody to lend me their power as if this is some kind of crazy anime.
It's like it's the end of Earthbound.
And then I can power up and then like finish the marathon and in one piece and be safe. And
it's just quotes from all of Duckfeed interspersed with Eye of the Tiger and Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, it's all played at once. God. It's terrible. They're not even at the same tempo. It is very misguided.
But yeah, well, anyway, like if people want to send me a recording thing, I'm sure I can just translate whatever type of file you send me. I'm accessible in places, Jalachan, everywhere. Send me a thing and I will totally put it in my little playlist to listen to when I am dying during my marathon in January.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All. That's all I could.
Do it, everybody. Yeah,
including you guys.
Yeah, I need to make sure that I that I do that after this, because this is the last I'm going to be recording until after the new year. So, thank God.
Am I the only one that gets really annoyed with all the people being like, like, see you next year? All of those. Like, I don't know. just the whole like, hey, did you know that in like 3 days it's technically next year? It's like, yes I do.
I don't know. I just let them have their fun, I think. That wasn't the answer you wanted.
I'm just kind of giggling because I'm totally like, I've done both. I've been that person that says that thing, but then I've also been that person who's staring at the person who says that thing going like, dude, seriously. So I can't talk either way, one way or the other. I'm just like, well, whatever. I've been on either side of the fence on that one, depending upon my mood at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of like changing your tense if the time switches over between 11:59 and noon, during in the middle of a sentence. Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a Simpsons joke. He said, it's Professor Frink. He's talking to Homer and Marge. Says, good morning, sir, and good afternoon. You'll see that technically I was correct because of the time. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if you end up messing up the order of events on a daylight saving time jump. I don't know.
I just have trouble with, I tend to answer good morning, good afternoon, etc. more based on my mental state than anything else. So, like, if I've still got, like, a lot of stuff to do during the day, it's going to be good morning until, I'm about halfway through whatever I've got planned.
Yeah. I date my checks depending on what year it feels like. I'm paying you my rent in 2006. Yeehaw.
So this year it's just going to be 1942.
1939, please.
Oh, okay.
That all of a sudden I'm depressed. So I don't think there's much more time we can kill before while waiting for Ben. Not that we're killing time; we're enjoying each other's company. But we have
this is your fault, Ben. That time is dead because of you.
But we've got the usual kind of show for you: a brief, a multiplayer, and the grind. And why don't we get started with the brief, where we talk about things that are happening in the world of video games around us. Jala, I want you to open us up here with your story.
Okay, that thing about that thing. All right, so the dev that's was behind Arkham Origins will be making a Damian Wayne Batman game. And this follows after the never actually officially announced Suicide Squad game, which had been in production for 2 years, was canceled after a, quote, long period of turbulence, whatever that means. And so the team is shuttling their resources over to the new Batman game instead. And the new Batman game was planned to be revealed at the start of this month, but obviously that didn't happen, so we don't know when we will see something further about it. So, I don't know, I'm sure they will actually make the game because it is a Batman game, but Origins wasn't ever part of the recently remastered Return to Arkham bundle, so, it was just kind of left out. So, I mean, this is the same team that did that game that got left out of that bundle. So,
yeah.
So, I don't know how exciting that is, but there's yet another Batman game coming, so yay.
Do we know that it's going to be in kind of the Arkham style or Arkham engine, or are they going to be doing something different?
Not yet, just that they are making a Damian Wayne Batman game, and that is it. And this is the people who did Origins, and that is it so far. We were kind of waiting for that reveal to learn more about it.
Yeah. Forgive me if I am ignorant here, and I know that I am. Who is Damian Wayne?
Basically, Batman gets date raped and ends up with a kid.
Yes, that is. Yes, that is pretty much it.
Okay, so it's his illegitimate child.
His little punk bastard son. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
And the guy, the kid's kind of a punk.
Yeah.
I am not sure why you would want to make a game around this character.
So it's like James Bond Jr., except instead of being his nephew, it's his actual son.
Yes.
Yeah, it's legit son.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't aware that this was a character who had any kind of cachet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's my only exposure to it is really they have a animated movie thing on Netflix, and the character's kind of just a punk. I don't exactly see why they would want to make a game around him.
Yeah.
It's like Sonic.
But see, the thing is, do they have to make Batman appeal to a younger audience?
Well, one of the main reasons, from the comics, the few comics that I've read with those two characters together, Damian usually is just but I'm really talented and you need to just trust me to be able to do my thing. And then, Batman's no, you can't because you've lost a Robin, and stuff like that. It's all having his, issues. And then, Damian's you need to get over your parents' death. Seriously, and that kind of thing. That kind of thing where, Damian is just ribbing and giving Batman shit for just all of the stuff that Batman has hang-ups about. So,
jeez.
So that's a thing.
So it's either cruel or needed medicine. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's for people who, like Batman, but are just like, dude, really? You're a little bit too extreme, at the same time. They can, appreciate that. So
it's a nice little bucket of water.
Yeah.
I know. Yours kind of struck me as sort of being the, Damien is to Batman as Wesley is to Star Trek.
Yeah.
But, he's just like a 6-year-old that's like good at everything because like ninjas.
Huh. Because genetics. That's weird.
Also genetics.
but that's
mostly because he was trained from
there we go.
By ninjas.
So...
Oh wait, is he like Talia's kid or something? Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's completely unjustified. It's more just, I don't know. At least to me, seems like it doesn't come off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Quite right.
I think we're burying the lead here. The real story is we don't have to live in a world where a Suicide Squad game exists.
Well, there was some little piddly mobile game that was released, and then they also did some DLC, didn't they, for Injustice?
At this point, I think I think the mascot from Chex Quest is in Injustice. Yeah.
I mean, it just continues the routine of, if anything by DC that's a TV show or on TV is amazing. Mm-hmm. Anything by DC that's a movie that isn't Batman is awful.
And is the inverse true for Marvel?
Yeah, actually, except for Netflix series.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Marvel has TV. Marvel has Jessica Jones and Daredevil, right?
Yep, and now
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I hear people talk about those as though they were good, so I have no reason to disbelieve them.
They're all very different types of shows, but all very good.
Yeah.
I would watch them if I watched things, but I don't watch things, so I don't watch anything. But I would watch those if I had somebody who wanted to watch them, who sat down and was like, "Okay, Jala, we're gonna watch these," and I'd be like, "Okay, let's watch a little at a time," because I can't sit still that long.
Hey guys, I just I on a napkin here I drew a picture of a stick figure kind of rowing a gondola with his penis, and they just announced it for Injustice in 2017. Yeah.
As you do.
I don't know why I'm like kicking this game when it's down. So I just have a lot of resentment for anything that just has whenever there's a small content update and there's a news story about it and all these blogs, because they just have to pump out the story. Yeah. I don't know. That probably hasn't been the case for 4 years, but I still get a little salty about it. It's part of the reason why I was a little bit skeptical about Octodad, because I only saw bad news articles about Octodad in the lead up. Hey David, what story you got for the for the assembled group here?
Sure. So part of it depends on how depressing we want to be. So
be nice.
Yeah. One of these is a feature on a site, and I want to. We can probably put a link to that, but let's talk about the news story one.
Okay, sure. So the Steam Awards have been announced, except not exactly. So apparently, all of the voting during the Thanksgiving sale was not actually voting for the Steam Awards. It was voting for the people that you'll be able to vote for the Steam Awards. So it's basically, it was the Steam primaries, and now we're on to the Steam election.
We can't get away from it. What the fuck?
Yeah. And so there were, apparently, I nominated a couple of things, but I didn't really look at it. Apparently the categories were villain, most in need of a hug, I thought this game was cool before it won an award, test of time, just 5 more minutes, whoa, dude, and Game Within a Game award, and I'm Not Crying, There's Just Something in My Eye. Oh, and Best Use of a Farm Animal. And then they also had a write-in category.
Okay.
So the write-ins were Boom Boom for Best Explosions, Love/Hate Relationship for basically difficult games, aka the Dark Souls Award, Sit Back and Relax for the opposite, and Better with Friends for co-op games. So I don't know, the kind of two interesting things I saw, and what this article is actually kind of highlighting, is the fact that since there was no restrictions on when the game could be published, a significant number, probably I'd say most of the games, are very, very old, with the most notable of in the I liked it before it was cool section. Gary's Mod was nominated, which is a decade old.
Yeah, it is.
So, and then the other thing, this is just kind of something I see, is it seems like there's unfortunately a certain degree to which a lot of these seem to be either missing the point or just that game I like.
I mean, welcome to internet polls.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but like some of them, like for example, Game Within a Game award, the Stanley Parable was nominated.
Yeah, probably for that the Baby Puncher one. Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, So yeah, is this going to like coincide with the winter sale starting up here in like a day or two, or
that's my understanding. Yeah.
So. Well, let's see what comes of this. I'd be curious to see if this is like tied in with like a discount or something like that, or a free copy. Who knows what they're doing? I'm going to add Ben.
Yay!
One moment. Hello.
Hey.
Ben.
Hey. Is everything cool with you?
Yeah, sorry, I just ran late at work, lost track of time, so no good reason. Just looked down at my phone and saw it 7:32 and shouted "fuck" and then sent you a text.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. Well, thank you for for still coming on.
Apologies for my tardiness.
Yeah, no worries.
What story are we on?
So Dave was just talking about the Steam Awards and some of the some of the weirdness going on there. Not like bad weirdness, like we oftentimes see with Steam, but just with lots of strange categories and a lot of games or software that dates back to like 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I will always check out the Steam Winter Sale when it comes out, but I never get into the meta game that they run on it.
It seems like it's really varied the degree to which they do some of that stuff. Like last time they made like a Clicker Heroes game,
I think.
Yeah.
So it was like one thing that looks like it's something else until it's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how sentences work. Let's see. So do we want to bounce off of one poll and go to another poll?
Sure.
Segue.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about the title of the year?
The Toady.
Oh my god.
Yep, the Toady. I was like freaking out because I took a nap this evening inadvertently, and I woke up and like, oh no, there's only an hour left. I need to tabulate all of the results. And I was like, oh wait, no, Dennis has already done this, and he's not even here. Thank you for your sacrifice, Dennis, wherever you are.
Thank you, Ghost Dennis.
Yeah, he put up the poll, and he also went through and tabulated all these. Lots of ghosts tonight.
Yeah, and he too is with us in spirit.
So for people who are just tuning in, every year around this time, we assemble a list of all of the titles that we kind of all the names that we called episodes over the previous year or so, kind of going back to last December. It's kind of like video game award rules a little bit, and we put out a poll asking people to pick their top 5 ranked. And these are kind of put together, and we score them. Do I need to describe contests anymore? Do I need to describe the notion of scoring?
Well, we do have the board account method, so it's a little bit weird. But
yeah, that's that's Dennis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share an ascending list of the top 5. Okay. Okay. So coming in at number 5, Suck It Horses.
Yes.
Number 4. So in going back and putting together the new website for the show, we have a lot of titles that are about horses.
Yeah.
And specifically aggression toward horses. I didn't realize that was a theme until I saw it all in one place.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 4, My Hips Are My Bond.
It's a good one. I voted for that one.
I don't think any of the ones that I voted for are on here, actually, in the top 5. Except for the first one. The first one is pretty good, but that's kind of like voting for the Tom Hanks movie for the Oscar. Like, it's just going to happen. Number 3, This Is Zubat Country.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one being up there because this is this was such a Pokemon Go heavy year.
It was, and that's why I like that one up there too, for the same reason.
It's the best possible. I know, it's the best possible thing. Number 2, Kole Shoulder.
You made the top 2, Kole.
I know. Usually,
yay, Kole.
Usually that is an honor reserved for Ben. I think Ben is the one who gets the most titles and also the highest ranking ones.
Oh,
there
man.
will never be a Jala title because my name is too weird to have like a title out of it.
I think that there have been titles referencing you, I believe, but none
like
that...
a couple, but not yeah.
I'll start trying to work jalapenos into the podcast and see if we can lay the groundwork.
See, the problem with that is
drive a jalopy.
The problem with that, like if you just pick a word like that, like jalapeno, that just has her name in it. It won't read as a cute nod to our co-host.
Oh,
yeah. And number 1, surprising literally nobody, is Chrono Trigger Warning.
Yay!
Yeah. So thank you everybody for voting, but that isn't over. While we're talking about the main titles, I feel like we should highlight the bottom of the crop too, because there are 3 that had no votes whatsoever.
We can do better.
3 that had no votes whatsoever. So let me work down. Okay. So third from last, saving it for the memoir. I forget what that was in reference to.
See, you don't even vote for it.
No, I didn't vote for it. Yeah. Second from last, Pop Linguistics. One of our failed characters, I think. I think even Old Man Orgasms.
Disappointed.
I think Old Man Orgasms did better than him. And then the final one. This one actually gets me. I'm a little bit upset. The final one is Fiber Wire Bribe.
Why are you upset?
Oh no, I just like that a lot. Just the idea that you strangle somebody to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's one I just want to become like a turn of phrase. Like that's I really like that as a euphemism for, killing someone in order to, get what you need.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's that, Jala?
Are we gonna talk about the alternate titles too?
Yes, after I fix your audio.
Oh,
There we go. You're back. There, you went into a Skype hole there for a second. Yeah.
Skype hole of death.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
were there any dark horse titles that you guys wish were higher on the list?
Let's see. Skeleton Laugh is up there, but I really wanted it to be one of the top ones because that was just too good.
Yeah. On the
actual it prompts memories of the actual Skeleton Laugh that was being done during that episode.
Yeah. I feel like we did a pretty good job on the main on kind of the main run of them. I wish that quarter to third Mons had gotten up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's big because I'm just disgusting.
Fractions are hard.
Yeah, I suppose. And also it's weird to render that in text. How about you, David?
I did not have anything.
Ben, you asked the question. Answer.
I'm partial to baby vape, so I voted for that one.
Yeah.
It just sounds adorable.
I wanted face palm trees to go up there because that's a thing that ends up coming up in the Slack a lot.
Yeah. So we also did the alternate title of the year awards because of an abundance of data. Let me look here. I have 130 alternate titles that people could look at. Enough that they had to be broken up on SurveyMonkey from one question to another. So let me do a similar thing here. There are a bunch that are kind of tied for third. So I'm just going to start with third place and then go up. So for alternate titles, ones that didn't quite make it but still have a place in people's hearts, Skeleton Laugh in parentheses. So that's more of an Aussie thing. My voice is too froggy to get the proper like falsetto on it. Swipe left for co-op. I think that's a Tinder thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna make you feel good, then you're gonna die. Oculus Lift spelled like the ride-sharing service.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, we're out of the third place tie there. Open Face Knuckle Sandwich, which is really good.
That is pretty good.
It just has a name for a slap. It's pretty great. And then number 1, Parenthood is Pay to Win.
When I saw that up there, I was like, there's a lot of like parents listening to this show.
Yeah.
That's number 1.
What did we go with?
Because then look at the number 1 for the back half of the alternate titles. I mean, it's totally parent related.
I didn't even see the back half. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a whole nother set.
Huh. Well, go ahead.
Real quick though, what did we choose over Parenthood is Pay to Win? Because that's a real strong title.
Let me see here.
I don't know what
that was episode number 46, and we went with bland white people names. I believe because we were talking about Until Dawn during that, and everybody in that game has a bland white person name.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me rattle off the back half here because I didn't realize these were actually broken up. I thought that he collated them. Look at me, I'm Dennis. Again, we're in third place. I get it, but we all have jobs. That sounds like me. Who overwatches the Overwatchers? Banter.executable or banter.exe. Let's see here. Here's number 3. Your groans sustain me. I think that was in response to a facepalm tree.
Yes, it was.
If it makes you feel better, she dies.
That was in response to me ranting about somebody I didn't like. Actually,
in a game.
Actually, it wasn't that I didn't like her. That was when we were talking about Phoenix Wright. The 2 seconds I opened the game, and I'm like, really?
Oh yeah.
She's wearing a bra with a jacket over it.
Yeah, the booby lady. Yeah.
I actually do not hate her, but I don't know anything about her. But I was just laughing about her wardrobe choice.
Of course.
To be fair, over a long enough time period, that statement is accurate for any female.
Makes you feel better. That person will die eventually.
Jeez. It got dark. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Okay.
And then number 1, I like this one a lot, and I think this actually it didn't. So it didn't beat it out, but number 1 on the back half. So from June to December, Dad Joked from Orbit.
Mm-hmm. So. See, both of the number 1 alternate titles are parent related.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So thank you everybody for indulging us in this in this kind of masturbatory exercise. But it is really fun to kind of take a look back. I see that I have this document open twice, so I need to hunt down the other tab, or I'll just close this one. Ben, since you joined us late, did you have any story that you want to talk about, or do you want to go into multiplayer?
I actually had a tiny story / reference, but I couldn't find a link for it. I just wanted to pay notice to there's an Assassin's Creed trailer like that's playing currently. So like the movie's coming out this coming week, but I think it's coming out like maybe even tomorrow. But anyway, there's a lot of like ads for it that are theming it as a Christmas movie, where it'll have it has like jingle bells in the background and stuff, and they make Christmas puns. I couldn't find a link of the exact ad for it, but I thought it was very confusing for a couple of reasons. One, it has nothing to do with Christmas, and then two, it's also a game that prides itself on like diversity in terms of their staff and like having different beliefs and stuff. But they're advertising it as a very specific holiday, or towards a very specific audience that practices that. So I don't know. I thought that was really weird. Slash didn't like it.
Fair,
Slash
technically, Jingle Bells is about Thanksgiving.
Well, no.
True fact.
I was saying there are jingle bells in the trailer, not the song Jingle Bells, but just Christmas bells. Being,
ching, ching, like sleigh bells, like behind it. Yeah. Huh. Well, if you think about it, Santa's a kind of assassin.
Is he?
Well, I mean, he assassinates.
He did punch a heretic.
What?
Also a fact.
Yeah, it was one of those like Orthodox
of Nicaea or something like that.
Yeah, they were straight up talking about what gets in the Bible, and he's like, "Fuck this." Yeah.
Yeah.
He punched the Bible, or
no? Saint Nicholas punched a dude that he disagreed with theologically.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Historical fact.
Yeah. He's an assassin. He kills the winter blues.
Oh.
That
wasn't really a joke. It was just a saccharine thing to say. I mean, it was asinine. Saccharine and asinine.
See, this is my response as if you were saying, "See you next year."
Multiplayer.
Now it is time for the multiplayer, where we ask you a question and you answer it. Jala, you asked the question. What is the question that you asked the nice people?
I asked, if you were trying to introduce someone to playing games, what title would you lead with and why? And thanks to Michael P. for the question.
Yeah. So I'm going to get us started here with Amanda, who writes, I think Kirby's Epic Yarn for the Wii or Animal Crossing New Leaf for 3DS would be my choice. They have gotten my wife playing video games again after she stopped for many years. They are fun, not technically complex, and immensely charming.
Yes.
Yeah. Epic Yarn makes a lot of sense because it looks like a video game that people would think of as a video game. It's side-scrolling, but there is no penalty for death, and it is adorable. So,
wait, how is it? What happens if you die?
You're set back a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not
I thought you meant as in literally no penalty. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It does not tick down a number counter or something like that.
Sure.
And also it's made for co-op. Like Epic Yarn is a fantastic game, and I kind of want to check to see if it's on the virtual console for the Wii U. Yeah. David, what does Tim say?
Tim says, definitely depends on the person's age and taste, but regardless, I'd probably start off with something simple, but addicting, like Tetris on 3DS or Cut the Rope on iOS. If the person likes to read books and is a critical thinker, I'd give them Phoenix Wright on the DS or iPad. Mario's a classic, but may seem too archaic to someone who sees a FixV ad on TV and thinks
Final
I should
Fantasy
try
15.
I like Fixed V better.
Methinks I should try this video game thing while stroking their Gandalf beard, not Ganondorf beard. That would be weird.
while stroking their chin strap. Yeah, what the fuck is up with Ganon's facial hair? Or I guess Ganondorf, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can never keep track of which is which.
Ganondorf is the Green Goblin man, and Ganon is the Big Pig man.
Beast. Yeah.
And are they supposed to be the same person?
I think.
Okay.
One is a form of the other. This is a point where it is obvious that I have not read the Hyrule Historia or whatever. Yeah. Tetris is good. Tetris there's a reason that everybody's dad played Tetris. when they got there. Well, no, I'm just projecting everybody's experience on my own. Whenever I went to visit my dad, I could never play my Game Boy, to play Super Mario Land 2 because it was always, hey, can I play Tetris? So I had to watch TV while I played Tetris.
My dad played Tetris as well.
Yeah.
My dad did not play Tetris, although he did play, like, when we had an Atari, I don't know what it was, some kind of, like beat 'em up warrior type game thing, and he played that with me. I don't know what the hell game it was, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, my father, I don't think has ever actually gamed, although he's actually the one person I would like to introduce to gaming.
Why is that?
He's like very, very against it, but I think there's a lot of them he would enjoy. He's a big fan. He reads a lot of, like, the Tom Clancy books, kind of the techno thriller stuff. And I think there's a lot of games that kind of cater to that. Not least of which the Tom Clancy games.
Well, of course.
but even like, even some of the, like, Alpha Protocols and, even like Deus Ex, it has a lot of that DNA.
Yeah. Let's see, Ben, what does John say? Quote unquote John.
John says, it depends on their hand-eye coordination. I've tried getting my wife into games, but she struggles with handling movement. For someone like that, a game where one person controls while the other person contributes either on narrative decisions, i.e. or e.g. Life is Strange, or in low-stakes setups, Mario Galaxy, are good entryways for the coordination challenged. It worked for us.
Yeah. It seems like that is both a question of hand-eye coordination and also navigating a 3D space mapped onto a 2D surface. Yeah.
I feel like introducing someone as their first game to Life is Strange would be an excellent way to make sure they never play another game again.
just because it's, like, emotionally devastating, or
yeah, just because it's incredibly depressing.
True, but it's so beautiful, man. That might be one of my favorite things I played this year. We're not doing a goatee.
Really want to talk to someone about that, because I'm like, I don't know, it's a really, really interesting game. It's really, really cool. But
yeah. Jala, what does Dustin say?
Dustin says, I would have chosen Mario 64 whether the Mario-themed image was there or not. It's too fun to put down. It might be a bit dated, but it still holds value. As for current next-gen, maybe GTA 5 or anything by Naughty Dog to simply blow them away.
The Naughty Dog's actually a pretty good call, just because I feel like most of those are fairly approachable in that, like, you can do pretty cool stuff even if you're not good at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a third mix of game versus 2/3 of, like, a Heavy Rain type thing where it's just like walking through a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and specifically, like, both Last of Us and Uncharted 4 have accessibility options where you can just kind of, like, oh, you don't like that part of the game? Boop.
Oh, really?
Like,
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like, you don't like the cute quick time events or button mashing? Nope, those are gone. Don't like the combat? Well, let's just crank it
Hopefully
back easily.
that's a feature that's on by default.
Well, I mean, it's not, but, it is a good way to play the game. Yeah. No, Naughty Dog is definitely a good call. Sam writes, all of the people I know who have no experience with games to the point that they need to be introduced are generally complete assholes about it, so I don't even bother. Before I completely died inside, generally an accessible multiplayer game like Mario Kart or Smash Brothers, or a funny visual novel like Phoenix Wright or Hatoful Boyfriend. Sorry if I went too dark. I've just had one too many conversations where somebody feigns interest in something that I'm talking about.
I laughed my ass off when I read that. I was just like, this is why we're friends, Sam.
Yeah. Sam cuts to the heart of the issue.
It sucks, right? Because there's so much to be interested in that it's like, what can I add, at a certain point, like, what can I add to your life by giving you another thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if this was like a Hacker News article or something like that. It was like, video games, the socially unacceptable art or something, just pointing out the fact that, like, games now are, very, not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them very much are, serious and, artistic. But if you tell someone that you play games, that will generally lower your social standing.
Weird.
Which is not good, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to Sam's point, it's a dick move if they're just kind of like teasing you with it. Like, I'm not really that interested. Like that person is a dick. But like somebody who doesn't play video games, they're not just like sitting in a dark room eating candy canes out of a box. Like they've probably got something they're into.
Yeah, I feel like he's more saying it's sort of like I don't know, like, so, most people that don't like, say, like classical music, or you could say it about anything, it's not that they don't like classical music, it's that they really pride themselves on not liking classical music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's more what he's getting into.
That's... Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what he means. Like, Sam's not the type of person who's going to, like, fault you if you just don't have any interest in whatever the hell it is. Like, that's not the thing that he's saying. He's just saying, like, those people who are just like, I don't do that.
Yeah, like aggressively.
Yeah, aggressive about it, and, like, oh, whatever. Or, you play video games? Okay. So, like, what? What type of game?
Yeah, I've met those people.
Yeah, like that kind of,
Pac-Man sure has come a long way, hasn't it? I stole that or we come a long way from Pac-Man. I stole and butchered it from the besties. Let's see. Dave, what's that?
I have a Pac-Man running shirt. It says "Run like ghosts are chasing you."
Nice.
And it has Pac-Man. Yeah.
Pretty good. Let's see, David. What does Michael say?
Michael says, I think I'd lead with Diablo 3. It's pretty universally fun to punch monsters to bits. The directed experience prevents confusion, supporting couch co-op for easy sherping, and has a low difficulty curve. The series is also relatable to most gamers. Makes a good conversation topic to other game players. Dark Souls 3, yes. Yes, no. Wait, what?
Dark Souls 3 has got a nice low barrier to entry and is a good fun time.
That doesn't make sense.
Diablo 3?
Okay, yeah. I think. Sorry, he put DS3. I think he meant Diablo 3.
Yeah.
I'm really
maybe
sorry.
Maybe just wanted a reference
for
for Dark Souls in case someone forgot to.
I'm really sorry for butchering that last half. Although I have to say that first sentence was one of them where I did not read like to the end of the sentence before I started reading it. It got much funnier halfway through.
Yeah, you first perceived it when you heard it coming out of your own mouth.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I support punching monsters.
Yeah. Is this the Michael P. who asked the question or presented the question? Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
It's that guy.
Yeah, specifically if you're there to help them make gear decisions, I could see Diablo 3 being a good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played a lot of Diablo 3, but I've played Diablo 2, and I know how intimidating that interface could be. So, like, if you could walk them through that or take care of that for them, I think just the tappa would be a good time.
I really need to get back to that. It's apparently a good game now. No, legitimately, it was kind of a crappy game on launch, and apparently it's now like really, really good.
They like changed it completely when they brought out the expansion, and then brought it to console.
Right, and I think they got rid of the item store.
Yeah. Ben, what does Ollie say?
Ollie says, if I want to get someone into games, I would pick something with minimal controls and an overriding sense of fun, but gets more difficult as time goes on. Also, I'd want it to have a rocking soundtrack. There can be only one. Streets of Rage! I Google image search this, and you can be 3 different named characters. You can be Adam, Axel, and Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Streets of Rage is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like picking something 16-bit might be a good way to get over resistance.
Mm-hmm.
The video game?
Yeah. I was about to say to try and forget that resistance exists, but that was a good game. So, Jala, what does Franz say?
Desert bus. If they can handle that, it means they're ready.
Pretty hardcore, Franz.
Right?
It means they're ready to live in the Southwest.
Jala, do you want to take Christopher?
Yeah. Chris says, easy and fun couch co-ops are pretty good, pretty go-to for that. Your carts and party games. I remember Guitar Hero and Rock Band also working. Other than that, I've had personal experience with open world games really getting people interested. Oblivion and Fallout 3, where they were new, when they were new, got a few of my friends into gaming a little more than the casual couch co-op. Yeah. And I've got to agree with both of those. Like one of my answers was going to be like, your cart or party game, just because, that's something that there's no pressure. There's no time investment really. Like, you're at a gathering of people and you can just like pop in and play that and then pop off. And then, it's no big deal. Nobody knows what they're doing probably, so. Yeah. And, but yeah, like also, I remember what sucked me into PC gaming was when I first got Morrowind, and I just like got obsessed with that. So, and in games like that, you can kind of take whatever approach you want to. Like for a long time in Morrowind, I was just like wandering around the world, looking around and exploring because that's what I like to do, and then gathering alchemical materials.
If they're open to the openness, something like Skyrim. Would definitely be a huge thing. Like if they are down to wander and that lack of direction wouldn't make them just completely frustrated.
Yeah.
No, it's a good. That's a good poll. I think about Skyrim and I think of the scale of it, but then I remember like you're not seeing all of that at once. You're like walking over each individual hill.
Did you say hill or hell?
Either. Hell's more Oblivion.
Some of both.
Yeah.
Depends on the spiders. I actually read a really cool article. It was by some game designer that I probably should have known. It was, talking about, his difficulty in introducing, games to people, particularly people that weren't into action type genres. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he talked about was introducing one of his friends to Skyrim, and like a couple weeks later she called him on the phone sobbing because one of the NPCs had died, and like she had never realized it was possible to like actually care about characters in a game.
Oh no, it caught them off guard. Yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the notes here because there is somebody, her name is Shirley Curry. She is an 80-year-old woman, a grandmother who has done or continues to do these Skyrim Let's Plays. It's kind of like talking over it. It is incredibly charming, possibly in like a real patronizing, old people are people too kind of way, but like, no, it's great to see somebody, just into it. I don't know.
It kind of gives me hope too, because I don't know, I just like the idea of like, people continuing to like pick up hobbies and stuff like that throughout their life. That's very comforting.
Yeah.
That there's someone who's doing that.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let's go through these last two kind of quick. David writes, Terraria. It's inexpensive, co-op, available on pretty much every current gen platform, and has a wide variety of activities, and isn't terribly difficult on the easiest settings. Yeah. Terraria specifically as an entry for somebody who is not adept in moving around in 3D, to play Minecraft.
Yeah.
David, finish this out with Jonathan.
Jonathan says, because I'm teaching my daughter right now, I have to say free roam mode in a Lego game. She's got a handle on walking after quite a few tries, but driving requires 2 buttons and is tricky. To help her, I've been teaching her how to Hulk smash, which requires 2 button taps. She loves it. That actually sounds really good. I'm assuming that Hulk Smash is probably the same sort of satisfying as being Chewbacca and popping the arms off of stormtroopers in the Lego series.
How long did we do that for, Ben? Like that was the thing. You downloaded a demo for Lego Star Wars 2 or whatever. We just ran around Mos Eisley popping arms out of people. Like, this is way back in dorm days. Yeah.
No, that's something I'm kind of surprised no one else said it, because the Lego games actually, like, that makes a lot of sense.
Comes in enough flavors, so if somebody isn't all about Lord of the Rings, you can have Harry Potter or Indiana Jones or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My answer's already been given. Mario Kart. Everybody, I think, understands driving, or just kind of like what racing is, and the items make it so that even if you fall behind, you still have a winning chance to be kind of in the game. It's balanced. It's balanced for fun and drama instead of balance, and I think that is something that would be pretty satisfying for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. David, how about you?
I think I'd go straight up with Dark Souls. If they're gonna get into the hobby, they have to go all the way.
Yeah, you're taking Franz's approach. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I feel like for someone that I didn't have any like technical questions, like in terms of, they weren't someone that was like also going to be new to interacting with like a computer or something like that, any concerns like that, I think I'd really track it to what they're into. Mm-hmm. So like, Grant, he's been a gamer for a long time, but my martial arts instructor is like a really big fan of like heavy metal music. So he really loves like Darksiders and stuff like that, because that's right. Yeah, Brutal Legend, that's right up his alley. So like Grant, like I said, he's been gaming for a long time, but like, someone like that, if I knew they had something they were into, I think I'd try to find something that fit with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Personalize it. Tailor it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, how about you?
I think Portal is like a pretty good go-to, because it's pretty limited controls and it's low stress and it amps up and gets harder, but like you don't have to shoot anything. So it's, I think it's pretty, I think that's a good entryway game. Yeah. I think if the control scheme were too much for that, then I would choose something like Heavy Rain or Life is Strange and kind of do like the co-op sort of couch co-op sort of pick your own adventure sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested to see with Portal, someone who had never done that sort of, any games before, if they'd have any difficulty with some of the kind of, like spatial problem solving. Just because, like, it seemed like when I played it, there's a lot of times where I kind of relied on, having played previous games and kind of knowing that there's a trick, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I'd be interested to see, like, particularly some of them, once they get more abstract, where you have to, like, do things like shoot portals as you're flying through the air and things like that. But yeah, I know it would be interesting to see.
Ben, I know you've walked a lot of people through Portal, or been attendant to their to their runs through it. Have you ever introduced somebody who is really, really new to games to it?
Yeah, one of a guy who lived in the same house that I did in college played Portal, and like never played many video games at all, but like saw that game and like fell in love with it, and just like we were literally, I think Kole, you might have even been there. I think one time we were having like a party at my house and he was there like playing Portal 2 while everyone was like socializing. So he was able to pick it up no problem. There's been a few times I've tried to get my parents into video games, and so like I tried to get my mom to play Journey, but even that was a little bit too much of a controller scheme, and it's a pretty limited controller scheme, so I think it definitely depends on the person.
Yeah.
Wait, this wasn't McIntyre, was it?
No, it was Tony Zancanella. I don't know if
I didn't know.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. And Jala, let's round things out. How about you?
I already kind of answered it, but at the same time, I would also say I would definitely tailor it to whoever it was that I was, showing games, introducing games to. Like, if they don't like horror, I'm not going to give them a horror game. If they are not very coordinated, I'm not going to give them something shooty or whatever, that kind of thing. So, I mean, like, I would definitely pick something depending upon their interests and, predispositions. But I was going to say Portal 2 co-op just because you can go through it with them. And if it gets really hard, you can basically solve a large portion and undo all the complicated stuff without taking the controller away from them, which is a horrible thing to do. And without them getting too frustrated, you can solve it together. Let them try to puzzle it out, solve it together with them, and go forward from there. Or any kind of other thing like Castle Crashers or Battle Block Theater or something cute like that would be another one, because that's fun and easy to play. Not versus, it's a cooperative effort, that kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, let's not even pretend. You would introduce them to Resident Evil 6.
I said if they are not into horror, I would not put them in the horror game.
But if they
I think it's an inevitability. Anyone that knows you long enough will eventually play Resident Evil 6.
It might be. It might be. Kole, nice. We need to play that game together.
Yes, we do. The things are going to be straightening out now, which is good.
That would be an amazing extra episode or whatever.
It'd be a stream. Come on.
That would be a stream for sure.
Extra stream.
Well, thank you everybody for writing in. This is going to be the last one of these for this year. And if you want to participate here in a couple weeks, just follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/the level podcast. And those go up on Tuesday afternoons. And thank you, Michael, for suggesting this question.
Woo!
The grind.
Now it is time for the grind, where we talk about the games we've been playing over the past week or so. Jala, I want to start with you because I can't remember who wasn't here last.
It was David.
Okay.
It was David. Sorry. I already said Jala. We'll do David next.
Okay. Well, I've only been playing one thing. And, okay, I was going to go back and go play Steins Gate even if I was starting from the beginning because I never figured out how to skip forward. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to start from the beginning again and just go on with it, and just use the skip button a lot. Well, my Vita didn't have any power because apparently I left it on snooze and because it had been a while since I played last. So instead, I pulled up my phone and I played Ghost Trick.
Yeah.
So that is what I've been playing. Ghost Trick. Okay, I didn't know what the hell this was before. So I'm going to tell the nice listeners about it, just as if they have never heard of it. It is an adventure game that was developed by Capcom for the DS and iOS under the direction of the creator of the Phoenix Wright games. And the creator apparently, in fact, said that he would love to make a crossover game of the two titles. And although it's not nearly as popular as Phoenix Wright, it received multiple awards and nominations and apparently was considered one of the better DS titles and or best game no one has played. It was released in 2010, so it's older. But I found it on iOS when I was because I had downloaded the Phoenix Wright game on iOS, and when I was poking around Capcom, I was like, what else does Capcom have on here? Oh, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is. I'm going to download it. So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
So I'm playing on my phone. So this game, the protagonist is the recently deceased amnesiac whose name is Sissel, and his ghost is attempting to find out who he was and why he was killed before the dawn of the next day, because apparently ghosts will disappear at dawn. So, as Sissel, you have the ability to perform ghost tricks to solve puzzles and move around the world. Skipping from object to object, you can manipulate inanimate things. You can possess them, and you can sometimes do stuff with them, but not all the time. Like, there's some stuff that, you hop into, like, a piece of paper, and you can't do shit with that piece of paper. There's nothing that a piece of paper does.
Right.
You cannot fold yourself into an airplane?
No, you cannot fold yourself into it. Like, if you are on on the end of a chain at like some little decoration or something, you can swing it back and forth, or you can turn on an electrical appliance, or you can make something that spins go faster, that kind of thing.
But even those even those things, like a piece of paper will be a stepping stone to something else nearby.
Yeah.
Or you can turn on a fan nearby and then possess the piece of paper, and that will blow the possessed piece of paper with you nearer to something else that you can jump to.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's partially a puzzle of traversal puzzle, and then it's also a puzzle of timing and stuff, and I'll explain that in a second. You can link up to another recently deceased body and rewind time to 4 minutes prior to their death, and then change the course of events in order to save their life. And that is the primary focus of what you do in the game. So other than the traversal part, skipping around from, object to object to get somewhere, you also, the main function of the game, for you is to save people, which requires timing because, you watch the events that led up to this person's death, and then you have to manipulate objects, and sometimes this requires timing and things like that to react to what is going on as it plays out.
Can you do this for your own death?
No.
Okay.
You cannot do this for your own death. And the game toggles between visual novel type dialogue exchanges and then the action scenes, which is again where you get to do stuff. It literally will announce on the screen when it's time to act. It'll say like trick time, and then then it's time for you to act, and that's the end of that. But yeah, you switch between the land of the living, which is where time flows normally, and then the ghost world where time is stopped, and then that's where you can see. It basically highlights all the objects that you can move to. Or, if there's a dead body, like, you can interact with, that person's soul or whatever. And there's a lot of different moving parts to the story, and you don't really know how it's all connected for well over half of the game. And I'm right now, out of 17 chapters, I'm like in the end of chapter 15, and I'm really close to the end, but Kole told me that the last couple of chapters are really long, so I don't feel too bad about not having the time to finish it out. I will finish it out soon. But I still don't know how all of the parts connect just yet. And the story is very engaging. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. There's a lot of very memorable and quirky characters, both visually and in just how they behave. Everything is stylized and exaggerated with the art. And the animation in particular is smooth enough to have been praised specifically for, how... I don't know, how it lends to the characterization of all of the different actors in this game.
It really is remarkable. In fact, I was going to ask you about it. It's rotoscoped is how they did it.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So think Prince of Persia or A Scanner Darkly, I believe, where they basically capture footage of people doing the actions, and then in a very kind of like high frame rate way, they drew over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will have to also say too that although it treats a grim subject, like all these people die, and like you end up having to see all these different people's deaths, and you get to see them die multiple times. Certain characters die more than once, and even though that's the case, and even though like you uncover this really horrible plan and things like that, it manages to do this in a lighthearted way because of how silly the characters act. Like they're so exaggerated and cartoony that it doesn't feel as sad. Although there is a dog. There was a little Pomeranian, and I posted about it on Twitter. There's a little Pomeranian that is like, it dies, and then, trying to protect its master. And it's like, I want to go back and save Miss Camilla, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, the doggy. And I was all teary eyed. It was ridiculous. Every time. Yeah, and so anyway, that's a thing. But other than the dog, which made me get all sniffly, like there's not really a way to feel down with everything that pans out in this game because just the way that it's treated is such that it's not depressing, so it's cool.
It's not as dark as Phoenix Wright. like at least hear people come back.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright has a body count too. David, go ahead.
I'm telling you, the dog is a red herring. The dog is actually the murderer.
The dog is actually literally a red herring.
Yes. Look at the expression on that dog's face. That is the face of evil. No one explains their owner's death while looking that overjoyed.
It's a dog's eyes. Yeah.
But I also, anyway, I know that Phoenix Wright has a body count because you already spoiled it and told me that Miss Braun
you're solving murders. That's all that it is. If people don't die, Phoenix Wright doesn't get out of bed.
No. But I was talking specifically about Booby Lady.
Yeah, about Mia. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Anyway, so is this? Did you buy this all at once, or is it episodic? Because I remember it being one of those like early iOS games where it could have been either.
Well, you have the option. Like, it gives you the first chapter. I believe it's just one chapter. Maybe it's two chapters. Anyway, it gives you a little bit of the game for free. And then after that, you can elect to purchase in chunks the next several chapters, or you can just buy all of the chapters. And I was like, okay, well, I'm digging this game enough. I got enough faith in what I've seen so far that I'm just going to buy the game.
Yeah.
So, it was like $9.99 or something. Yeah. So I'm like, that's fine. I don't care.
Go for it.
So, yeah.
But by the way, is that one game $9.99? Does that also cost $9.99? That would be fun. I'd
be disappointed if it did. That is way too much to pay.
More.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was, but I don't remember.
They specifically made it $10.99 to avoid that.
I blocked it out of my mind because it's not that the storyline in that game bothered me, but it wasn't a game on iOS. It just wasn't a game.
You wrote down the price on top of a table, but you can't see it now because you flipped it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that you like Ghost Trick. I'm going to be curious what you think of the ending, because you're still, they're still introducing new mechanics like that late in the game. I don't think that it's oh, good.
Because at this point, I now have control of two spirits, or I had control of two spirits that did different types of things, so that's fun. So yeah, they're still adding stuff into the game. That only happened in chapter 14, I want to say.
Yeah.
That I had control of two spirits. So yeah.
Awesome.
It's pretty neato. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. It's cool. And again, like I was gonna boot up Steins Gate and try to finished that. But then I was like, it might be that needs to charge. Yeah, I want to play something right now. Okay, let me pull out my phone.
Yeah, that's what phones are for. That's what phones is for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all?
Yeah. That is the only thing I've been playing.
Nice. David, how about you?
Sure. Been playing a little bit more Sunless Sea.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's so story based that it's kind of hard to give a real big explanation of it. I delivered a retired monster hunter to Scrimshaw, which is a giant basically a giant city made of bone, wherein it's free to enter, but you have to leave a part of yourself in order to leave. So I elected to give a significant portion of my character's memories. I also had the option of chopping off a finger. Or I think I might have been able to leave one of my crew behind. Because I am a horrible employer.
Yeah.
I know it continues to be really good. It honestly, the best way I can kind of describe it, which is going to sound weird, is it has a lot of Star Trek DNA. in that when you arrive at a island, it's very much each of the islands are kind of their own self-contained story. And also, kind of very similar to Star Trek, some of them are these, real these, not self-contained, these real thought out, like actual cultures that, have backstory and, context and, things like that. Where on the other hand, some of them are kind of just the event of the day where it's just like the normal world. But what if, what if the Nazis won World War II? That sort of thing. There's a bunch of them like that just like, just little one-shot events that are a lot of fun. The one downside I'd say that I'm a little bit disappointed is one of the things I really liked about Fallen London is they give you a lot of options to make really, really bad decisions, but they don't punish you for it, if that makes sense. Like
you can pick a joke option and then there's like backsies.
Well, not exactly that. It's for example, there's a sequence where you end up with like this occult like idol, and you find it and it's sitting in your living room. And you have the option you click on and your options are like get rid of it, research in the library, give it to the authorities, or the last option is like feed it blood. It's like clearly this is the right option, but it's a thing where like it's not that like nothing happens, but if you do that, like you'll gain some nightmares, which is kind of their stat that tracks sanity, and like bad stuff will happen, but you'll generally, no matter what you do, you'll get some reward for it. And if you're going to do something that could potentially have like long-term ramifications, they'll generally be explicit about it. Whereas in Sunless Sea, there's certain options that only have a downside.
Right.
And again, they're usually ones that you can tell, this is probably a bad idea. But at the same time, I think it's kind of like, well, I'm playing a game. I kind of want to be, I don't know, I would like to be able to take those options to see what they do without like, just being, kind of kicked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a function of the game kind of being meant for replays a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think some of it is, that it's very much a roguelike, and it's like that. It's also because of that, it's the pacing's a lot different than it is in Fallen London, because it's very much set up for like you said, multiple playthroughs. I mean, you can literally cause the end of the world in it. Like that. Like one of the endings is basically you can help one of the factions destroy the concept of light.
Then does that just unplug your monitor forever?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's one of those things where like you can explicitly do things that you couldn't come back from, and then like your next playthrough everything's reset. So other than that, and actually kind of in a similar vein, I've been playing Darkest Dungeon.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of the stuff about this has kind of already been said. I mean, amazing art style, really good gameplay. One of the things I don't know that I realized before, really thought about before, is I really like when you start up the game, there's kind of this disclaimer message that basically talks about the fact that the game is about making the best of bad situations. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something that is, it's not just true. I feel like it's something that the game's very much based around, in that it seems to me, if you look at it, so many of the game mechanics, it's not just it's not just something bad happened, so -5 HP. It tends to be more like, hey, here's this wrinkle, and you now have to figure out a way to deal with it. So just things like your character getting obsessive compulsive disorder, and starts randomly activating world items that may or may not be cursed. And it's a thing where like that, it's not innately something where it's like, oh, that's going to cause you to lose. It's going to cause you to lose if you don't figure out a way to overcome it.
Right.
And I really like that. It almost seems like the opposite of, say, like a competitive fighting game, where the point of the game is to provide a completely even playing field, and see who can compete the best on that playing field. Whereas here, it seems like it's exact opposite, where the point is to put you on a unequal playing field and see who's the best at overcoming that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Chuck boulders at you as you climb up the hill.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
American Gladiator style. The other feature that I really like, that's kind of a small feature, is when you build up your stress as you go through the level, and when you get to 100 stress, your character has a breakdown and develops some affliction. But there's also like a % chance for your character instead to I forget what the term is, but basically rise above that, and instead of getting weakened, actually become like superpowered effectively.
Yeah.
So they become immune to stress. They become a lot more effective in combat, things like that.
They're like Jeff Bridges and Fearless.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's right there in the title.
Yeah, fair enough.
He survives a plane crash, and he becomes just kind of like psychologically numb to everything.
Yeah, but this is more not really numb so much as just characters rising to the occasion, basically.
That's what he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of pretty much every stimulus as pain. So there we go.
Okay. Yeah. You might want to have that looked at.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
what I like about it is I feel like a lot of people, talk about the game being about, stress and, the psychological toll of, adventuring and hopelessness. And I feel like that's actually kind of just the opposite. It's, actually a game about hope, it's about overcoming the issues you're facing. It's like there was a early interview with the developer that he had a quote where he said basically you can't be a hero if you're not afraid.
Right.
And I don't know, I really like that as sort of a counterpoint, either to like most action games where it's just all about there's no consequences, your character really isn't all that heroic because they're superhuman, or B, most horror games where it's just reveling in kind of wallowing in all the horrible things that are happening and kind of not doing anything with that.
Right.
So
what's your read on that read, Ben? You're the one who's played the most of this.
I think it's a game about grinding through noobs to support your higher level characters.
To be fair, you do that a fair amount.
Yeah.
Although I'm not having very many deaths.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I've had one party wipe. So my initial party got taken out by the first witch boss.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I've taken out that boss and the swine prince or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then right before we got on, I had to retreat from the cannon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Although I feel like that one was a little cheap because literally the corridor battle right before the boss fight was the collector.
Yeah, that one's a rough one.
Yeah, so I managed to defeat that, but yeah, I don't know.
Time to walk
really,
backwards.
Yeah. Yep. So I know I'm enjoying the actual game though a lot. I really like the classes and kind of the environment, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Have you gravitated towards any certain classes or any certain groups of people?
I'd say probably my favorite class is probably the Houndmaster.
Okay.
And
get those sweet dog treats.
Yes. So like usually my go-to is Houndmaster, Arbalist, the Bandit, and then either Vestal or the Occultist.
Okay.
I really like the Abomination, but the problem is I'm having trouble reliably being able to build a class around him since he can't group with any of the religious classes.
Yeah, does not play nicely with others.
Yeah, although I find it funny that like you'll sometimes get some like weird combinations of quirks. So like getting one of the religious classes that's an atheist is kind of funny.
Will not pray. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can't remember which one's the bandit.
The bandit is the one that it's pistols and daggers. That's real high DPS.
Is it the Highwayman or is that one different?
Yeah, Highwayman. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I think that guy is my favorite class after this last week, where he has the sweet forward advance move where he jumps up one in line, and then he gets a riposte so that he attacks back if people attack him, and then he has that sweet close quarters shot or whatever that shoots somebody and then knocks him back one, and then he can advance again, and I just put him on that loop whenever I use him. Exactly.
One of the things I'm kind of interested in playing around with is, there's a couple of other classes that are very movement based. The Grave Robber, has a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah.
A couple of the others. So I'd be interested. I want to try building out some synergy with some of those. I'd say that's probably the one thing that I kind of wish they'd lighten up on the some of the roguelike elements, is just because I'd like to screw around with some things. So like I really want to try I'm having trouble building Abomination into my party, so I really want to try a party that's just for Abominations.
That sounds fun.
So I do enjoy. Have you seen? There's a whole bunch of the party makeups have names.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. No.
Oh yeah. So when you put certain classes in certain orders, you'll get name. So I'm pulling some up.
Do you get any sort of side perk if you have
no side perk? They're just interesting. So like the one you start with, so Vestal, Plague Doctor, Highwayman, and the champion is the usual suspects.
Okay.
If you do all of the female characters, it's the femme fatales.
The Plague Doctor is by far the coolest looking character, I feel like.
Yeah, and really kind of a neat a neat setup.
So what's your highest level character, Dave?
4.
Okay. Cool.
4. I've got a party of level 4, so I haven't quite figured out how some of that stuff plays out.
Mm-hmm. Like if one person gets to 5 before the rest of the 4 parties?
Well, I mean more just like kind. Well, because like those characters very well could get all wiped out, and so kind of like, and if I'm then back to like a party of level 1s, like how does that kind of what's the cycle of the game? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing that progresses is like your building advancements seems to be consistently progressing. So
sure.
So like you might be more equipped to level up those people is the only thing I can think of. But okay. I definitely say don't turn away from just churning through the level 0s and level 1s that come in from the carriage or whatever as a means to just get a bunch of money and then beef up your top guys and then have them advance.
Right.
That's what I've been doing. And I think I got like 2 or 3 level 6 people, but then a couple of them got killed. So I think I'm down to like 2 level 6 people and then a couple level 5 people.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. I've got, especially now that they've added the antiquarian. How do you pronounce
Antiquarian.
that? Antiquarian. That thing that Kole said, that's just based around like farming. I've kind of been screwing around with that some.
Okay.
So
it's definitely has a strong aesthetic where the characters are always all very unique. But, yeah.
Yeah. I love some of the shout outs. Some of those are pretty entertaining. But have you looked at any of the introductory comics for the characters?
I have not. I did not know that existed.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they are originally. I found them on the wiki, but there's like a 1-page comic for each of the characters, and they're really cool because none of them have any dialogue, and they're all very kind of minimalist story. So,
it's like an IKEA comic.
Sort of. It's a thing where like you can kind of tell what's going on, but there's not an explicit story. So, it's just like the one for the Crusader is basically just for him like leaving his home and then going off to war and then like coming back and like his kids all grown up and then he's like going off again, or they're all very evocative. I guess would be kind of the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself trying to take on the Darkest Dungeon, David? When you get to the proper level?
Yeah, I mean, I could take it on right now. I mean, yeah, no, I'm definitely hoping to see it through. The only thing that's tough right now is I tend to play games a lot just like as a way to unwind. And it's hard to do that just because so much of this is about management.
Yeah. For the first time this last week, I tried playing it while drinking as well. And I didn't have any stress. I didn't have any stress while playing the game, but I also had a couple high-level people die, so that was kind of a bummer. So.
You were a little numb to it.
I've noticed that the same thing can happen when some of my characters drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Is that all, David?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Ben, how about you?
That's what I've been playing for the most part too, Darkest Dungeon. I think I'll probably have a shot at beating it maybe in the next week or two, depending upon how much time I have at home before I leave. But other than that, I've just been playing Rocket League. They have the new Christmas pack. I think I talked about that last week. And I played a little bit of Left 4 Dead 2. So I'm playing a bunch of old, boring games that people already know about. But they're fun.
What week are you up to?
In Darkest Dungeon?
Yeah.
I think I'm like in the 50s or the 60s. I know I'm past 52 because I got an achievement for making it past a year. And I've leveled up both the training building and the barracks building completely. So then I'm slowly leveling up the other buildings after that. But yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I think there's an achievement for beating it it's either within 2 years or within 99 weeks.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And shoot that for my target date.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So I've got two. The first one that I don't have much to say. So in preparing for going to Dishonored 2, I decided to pop in the Dishonored 1 DLC. Did a little bit of that this afternoon. The Knives of Dunkirk, where you're playing as Jala. What's his name?
Dowd?
Yeah, Dowd. There we go. The one voiced by Keither Sutherland, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah. And boy, I'm bad at Dishonored now. It's been a long time since I played. And I think that DLC kind of assumes a certain level of competency. I don't feel like I need to go back to the beginning, but I'm almost curious if I need to like get up the speed in Dishonored 2 and come back to this because good.
Wow, that's interesting because like I'm usually really bad with remembering controls and whatever, and I picked up Dishonored 2 with no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I have not played any Dishonored anything since I finished beating it whenever that was.
Yeah.
So that was like a while ago.
I wonder if that's because they walk you through the curve again.
That
in the Dishonored 2.
It might be because like there is a little bit of like a ramp up to it, I guess. So I mean, like you don't have to be too stressed out about it. I mean, if I can do it, Kole, you should be fine.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm more playing through the DLC or trying the DLC for story reasons than anything, because I've heard that it leads into it pretty well. But it might not be too terrible if I go through like tutorials. Basically, my problem is thinking about the space in terms of blinking. You know, like interpreting 3D space when you don't have to move directly from point to point. And using that for stealth is like it's a skill that like Dishonored 1 teaches you throughout its entire run. And so that's a little bit of the difficulty that I had when I started going through it. It's still a fucking gorgeous game. I'm playing the definitive edition. The people kind of gave me a heads up last time, and I also checked myself. I was talking about, I should probably just get that. No stores had it. However, it was on sale on PSN. So thanks to everybody who hipped me to, buying that complete collection for like $12, $3 less than if I just bought the DLC. Yeah. So I don't have much to say about that besides I'm really looking forward to being good again and not feeling like a dumb, stupid meat hands man. Who can't not make a noise.
See, I like my traversal so much that's just the way I think about everything. And the problem is that most games don't facilitate me actually doing the things I want to do. So that's what I like about it. So.
Yeah.
So when you say that, I have an image of you just like climbing up walls and jumping down in real life.
I would if I could. And the thing is that for Spartan Race, I'm going to have to be able to do that. So, yeah. It's a thing, because like seriously, some of the Spartan races, you have to scale a 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot straight wall.
Jeez.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing that thing.
Is there a way down?
Yeah, you jump.
Oh, gravity. Okay.
Yeah, gravity.
Speaking of running and jumping, the other game that I've been playing is Super Mario Run.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard about
how's
this.
That?
They took care of the running for you, right?
Yes. So it is not an infinite runner. It is just a Mario runner. It feels what's that?
Huh?
Like an iOS game where your character runs for you and you're just in control of the jumping, like a one button game kind of thing.
Like Temple Run.
Yeah. Except it's not randomly generated. It is like designed levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you still confused?
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's an infinite runner it's a finite infinite runner.
Oh, it's just a runner.
I like Finite Infinite Runner.
Yeah, it's so it's the thing about it, it's super slight. And it's overall, it's pretty fun, but I've got some real problems with like the particulars of kind of the format. I don't think they solved an awful lot of the problems with it. Two things really stick out. So first off, it's kind of meant to be, you're meant to play each stage over and over again to optimize them. However, there are lots of points where, in the course of the scroll, because you're playing it with your phone in portrait mode, you can't really see that far ahead of you. You just kind of have to intuit or guess or just go trial and error based on like which path, high, medium, or low you want to go for. Because like, I don't know, at some point I think that I need to go middle here, and like, oh no, if you went low, you would get like 2 pink coins. Like, you just can't do that because you guessed wrong, you dumb piece of shit. And so those pink coins are through there, and everything is kind of geared around getting all 5 of those in a run. Like, that is the first really apparent goal that you're going to get. That, and then just the amount of time that it takes you to run the stages, and also how many coins overall that you get. But yeah, like, it's a little bit unsatisfying when you're just like, okay, I'm making a choice based on all the inputs, and then all of a sudden, like, well, no, just, yep, you're fucked. You can't go back. I know that in a Mario game you expect to be able to go back, but you can't.
Not in the original Mario game.
Well, I mean, okay. So you got me there.
Quickly we forget.
You got me there. Yeah, but I mean, it's yeah. So I'll do the compliment sandwich here, because that is a bad thing. But on the inside, the good thing, they do actually kind of design. So it's designed around the new Super Mario Brothers graphics and moveset. So you have the ability to wall jump, and so like that is a way for you to get a lot more upward lift than you otherwise would. Additionally, if you just run at a Goomba or at a what are their names? Koopa Troopa, you will just vault over them. Like, you just, whoop, there's no problem. You don't have to manually jump over them. If you press the jump button while you're doing the vault, you will launch off of them and get a coin for killing them. And so there are an awful lot of like really cool little trick runs that you can do. And they do a good job of signaling a lot of these paths by putting coins, like in a run. It's almost like a Tony Hawk kind of thing, where they're putting the collectibles in a string, like saying, "Hey, this is a path that we designed for you."
Sounds like Mario Sonic.
Yeah, that is actually a very good comparison. So the bad thing, another bad thing here about this, there's no live system. However, when you die, you are bubbled like you were in the new Super Mario Brothers games. And you have to tap the screen in order to pop the bubble and drop back down. However, in a lot of the levels, there's not a lot of kind of navigable floor space. So sometimes, kind of, it is a test of skill. But a lot of the time, you'll tap to pop, and then the momentum is kind of weird, and you will just drop down and then die again.
Oh,
yeah, you will debub into a pit. So.
That's why you need that bubble hearth.
So when I talk about it being slight, there are like 24 stages in this. It's 6 worlds of four kind of challenges, and you kind of have to optimize them. But there's not an awful lot new to see, and that's an area where we're kind of spoiled by the whole games as a service mobile kind of free to play thing, where there's just more stuff. There's a whole side of this that I haven't really looked into, because fuck dealing with Nintendo's online components on these things. Like, I'm not going to sign into an account and then like look for a friends list or something. There's something called like Toad Rally, where you can race the ghosts of your buddies, your friends online. And that might be fine, but there's like a whole weird currency associated with that. You have to like collect Toad Rally tickets or something like that. And it's not really that enticing to me. So it's this weird kind of thing where like it looks and feels a little bit like Mario. And there are definite moments where it's like, yeah, this is one of the more polished experiences that I've had. But Mario is almost entirely about the feel. And even though it's admirable that they have taken a lot of risks, and they've, definitely set out to solve the problem of how do you build something that looks and feels like Mario with this limited input, on somebody else's hardware, big thing, big new thing for Nintendo. Mario's entirely about feel. And even though it's polished in a lot of the presentation, it doesn't actually get enough of the details right for me to say, like, yes, this is an unequivocal success. I don't feel bad about giving them $10 for it, but it's still like this weird, it's a weird half thing, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. When I had guest hosted on Dark Insight, Vader had talked about how he'd played, or he was looking forward to playing Mario Run, and I'm like, why? And I mean, like, I wasn't trying to be snarky, but like, it doesn't come across to me as something that's really gonna work as well as it, like, you know, like as much as you run and jump in Mario, like, it's kind of like what you're saying. Like, it doesn't strike me that a runner has the Mario feel to the same way. So like, I was skeptical.
Yeah,
and
it's like Mario pace and structure more than anything. Like the jump arc is there. Like, you know, it's responsive to how long you hold down on your tap on the screen. Like the base pieces are there. They just don't quite fit together. And they're like the levels are kind of designed for like these little stunts that you can do, but not for like being fun the entire way through. You know?
Yeah. And that's I have to also say that I'm not. I've tried a couple of runners. I'm not very excited about runners in general, like infinite runners or runners in general. Like, I'm, as much as I run in real life, I am not very interested in video game running.
Like Cannonball was fun. Alto's Adventure is pretty good. Tiny Wings is fucking great, but like, all, you know, it's just different. It doesn't come with the weight of expectation. And even if you divest yourself of that expectation, it's still a little ramshackle for a lot of the reasons that I put out.
Yeah.
So Mario is no longer Mario, and Star Wars is no longer Star Wars. What else do we got?
I don't know. Nothing sacred. My childhood. Any questions about either of those? The Knives of Dunkirk, or not Dunkirk, Dunwall. Dunkirk is a real ass city. Dunwall or Super Mario Run.
I was confused for a moment.
Me too.
I totally played the Knife of Dunwall as like super high chaos mode, because like by the time I got there, I don't know if it's because I was playing Assassin Man and I was just like, I'm gonna kill all you fools because I wasn't playing Corvo, or what, because I played like the regular game low chaos, but then I just went apeshit and just killed everybody when I got to the DLC. So
don't understand the chaos system from like an in-world perspective.
You leave more food for the rats, and the rats carry the plague.
But
and the plague
when you kill someone, they turn to ash.
Yeah, rats eat
if you
ash.
have that power.
Yeah. I don't know. I offered you the best explanation that I had. I can't actually answer for it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you want to button it up? Buttons. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of The Level. We're super happy that you joined us, and we look forward to having you back next year. We have a small little thing coming next week, but it's not going to be a full episode. So, and also because this is the last episode that comes out before Christmas, I hope that everybody has a wonderful holiday if you celebrate, and a wonderful weekend if you don't, and be careful in the coming week and weekends, because you know things get crazy, and we want to have you back.
Also, Hanukkah.
Yes, also Hanukkah. When is Hanukkah?
Hanukkah is on Christmas.
Oh wow, that's
this year. And
the Kwanzaa.
And then also the winter solstice already happened by the time this episode is out. So there.
So the days will only get longer.
What about Yule?
Yeah, that's good.
Is Yule something else?
Maybe. I don't know. I know that it was the holiday, that the pagan holiday that was co-opted. But
yeah, I think that's what neo-pagan people celebrate.
Maybe. Well, I mean, you know, just whatever you celebrate, we hope you celebrate it well. Let's see. You know the usual stuff. We don't have to lay it out. Thank you for voting in the title of the year, and we will be back next time. So I've been Kole Ross at Kole Ross on Twitter.
I've been David Moneysmith at Moneysmith777 on Twitter.
Always Jala-chan in places.
Mostly Merkleizer in places.
Yeah, and stick around for some titles. All right, let's do this quick because we need to move on to the next thing. I imagine
Sure.
that's
Okay.
being about like 20 minutes. Go ahead.
Are we going to add Dennis in for the last part?
I don't know that we want to have 5 of us on here.
What's the
Okay.
last part?
Oh, I want to do like the letters or the answer a couple of replay multiplayers, just so we have something to put out. If people are still available, if someone needs to go ahead and go. I don't want to hold you hostage because it's getting late.
I prepared for this. I'm here.
Okay. And so David, are you cool to stick around?
Yeah, I'm good.
Ben, are you cool to stick around for like 20 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Titles. Jala, what titles you got?
I got Because Ninjas
Okay.
and Ghost Ben
Okay.
and Santa's a Kind of Assassin.
Okay.
Fix V.
Fix V. Okay.
Walking Over Every Hell.
Okay.
That's what phones is for, because that's what you said. I totally didn't comment on it at the time. But
who said that and when?
you said that when I was talking about
Yeah.
like a Ghost Trick and the phones and whatever.
No, I say that's a sentence construction that I use sometimes. My teeth is for eating. Yeah. That's what phones is for. All right.
Okay. IKEA comic.
Okay.
Finite Infinite Runner.
Okay.
And Mario Sonic.
Okay. Ben, what you got?
I also had Finite Infinite Runner, and I had Debub into a pit.
What?
Debub into a pit.
Okay. David, what you got?
I forgot that I was supposed to be keeping track.
All right. I have one in spirit. Just because we talked about we mentioned like 3 people
Lots of
being in
ghosts.
spirit. Yeah. Saccharine and asinine. And then stroking his chin strap. Who wants to lobby for one? So Finite Infinite Runner got one. I want to lobby to make that Finite Infinite.
Just Finite Infinite?
Yeah, because I don't want it to be explicitly about Super Mario Run, which people will know that it is, because that'll be the post image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Finite Infinite?
Sure.
So it is.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
All right.